You have done everything right, delivered on every project, stayed late, taken on more than your job description, your appraisal said solid, your manager says you're doing a great job, and yet, when the salary conversation finally comes, you ask for 20% and walk out with 12%, or worse. You don't ask at all. Here is what nobody in your organization is going to tell you. The reason most professionals never see a 40% increase isn't because they don't deserve it. It's because they are fighting the wrong battle, in the wrong room, at the wrong time. I'm going to show you exactly how to walk into that conversation asking for 40% more and walk out with the offer and the relationship completely intact. But the truth is, this is not about negotiation tactics. It is about one single positioning shift. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I want to tell you about Arjun. Arjun was a senior manager at a mid-size IT consulting firm in Pune. 7 years with the same company, consistent top performer. He had led 3 flagship client accounts, expanded 2 of them, personally hired and developed a team of 12. His last appraisal rating was outstanding. His increment was 8%. Arjun wasn't reactive, he was strategic. He decided to have the conversation. So he walked into his manager's office fully prepared. He had the data, numbers, a document with bullet points. He spoke for 12 minutes or so. He listed every project, every client win, every late night. His manager nodded, said all the right things, told him, Arjun, I'll see what I can do. 4 weeks later, he got 11%. Arjun came to me not angry, but confused because he had done everything right except one thing. He had negotiated his past, not his future. That one sentence is the foundation of everything I'm going to show you today. The first belief that is costing you money in every conversation you have ever had is this. You think the meeting is where you win. You have prepared your case, your achievement, your KPIs, your appraisal scores. You're ready to present the evidence. And the instinct feels completely logical because in most professional situations, evidence wins arguments. But in salary negotiation, by the time you are sitting across the table, the decision is already 80% done. Not by your performance, by your positioning. Here is the distinction your organization will never explain to you. Your manager does not think about you in terms of what you have done. They think about you in terms of what it would cost and feel like if you are no longer there. Those are 2 completely different calculations. The professional who gets 40% didn't build a better presentation. They spent the 90 days before the conversation making their absence unthinkable. You cannot negotiate your past. You have to position your future. That is the first shift. Before I give you the next 2, I want to ask you something directly. Have your manager ever told you you're doing a great job and then your increment didn't reflect it? Yes or no in the comments. I read every single one of them and your answer is going to tell me exactly where you are in your compensation trajectory right now. And while you're thinking about that, I want to pause and give you something before we go further. Most professionals walk into salary conversations without knowing exactly where they stand in the eyes of the people who control their compensation. Not in terms of performance, but in terms of visibility, executive perception, and how promotable they actually look from the top. So I built a free tool to change that. It's called the Promotion Readiness Assessment. 3 minutes is all it takes, completely free. It shows you exactly how visible you are to decision makers and where your blind spots are before that conversation happens. The link is in the description. Take it before your next salary discussion, not after. Because what I'm about to show you will land much precisely once you know exactly where you actually stand. The second belief that keeps professionals locked in single-digit increments is the fear of how the ask sounds. If I ask for 40%, they'll think I'm unreasonable. I don't want to look greedy. What if they just decide to let me go? I understand where this comes from. I've heard it 100 times and I want to be honest with you. This fear is not irrational. It comes from a real place. But here is what is actually happening on the other side of the table when a professional asks with a precision and calm for a significantly higher number. Their manager doesn't think this person is being difficult. They recalibrate. Because a professional who knows their market value precisely signals one thing. They're not guessing about their worth. They have done the work. They understand their leverage. They have options. The professional who accepts 5% or 6% without question is signaling, I'll stay either way, doesn't matter. The professional who asks for 40% with grounded, non-threatening clarity is signaling, I prefer to build this here, but I know what I'm worth outside. You cannot negotiate from a place of fear. You have to negotiate from a place of clarity. Confidence in the number is not aggression, it is accuracy. Now, let's talk about the actual conversation. What Arjun did wrong and what he differently did the second time. There are 3 moves that makes a 40% ask land without threatening the relationship. The first move, anchor to the future, not the past. Don't open with, here's what I've contributed. Open with, here is what I'm going to drive in the next 12 months. And here's specifically how I'm planning to get there. You're not asking to be rewarded, you are asking to be invested in. That is a fundamentally different energy, and your manager feels it from the first sentence. The second move, name the market, not the emotion. Don't say, I feel I deserve more or I think I deserve more. Say, market benchmarks for this scope and level are in this range. I want to be accurately aligned with that. It matters to me that the value I bring here is reflected correctly. See that statement? That makes a whole lot of difference, doesn't it? You have removed the personal. You have made it a business conversation, and you have made it very difficult for your manager to argue because you are not asking them to validate your feelings, you're asking them to acknowledge what market data says. The third move, give them a path to yes. Most professionals back their manager into a corner. The manager feels trapped, and trapped person defaults to no. Instead, say this, I want to make it easy for both of us. If the full number isn't achievable in one cycle, I'd like to design a 12 to 18 months path to get there together. What would that look like to you? That third move is what separates professionals who negotiate from professionals who build long-term compensation trajectories. You're not issuing an ultimatum. You are designing a future together, and that distinction is everything. Arjun used these 3 moves. Different organization. 11 months later, he asked for 42%. He got 38%. That's close enough. Would you agree? Yes? So now, let's bring this together. Let's tie this all up together. You now have 3 things that most professionals spend their entire careers never figuring out. You know that the case is won before you walk in, through how you have positioned your future value in the 90 days leading up to the conversation, not a presentation in the room. You know that asking with precision signals strength, not greed, not aggression, absolute accuracy. And you have exact 3-move structure to open, frame, and close a salary conversation that gets you what you are actually worth without damaging the relationship in the process. If this kind of thinking is useful to you, the kind that gives you a tactical framework for every high-stake moment in your career, then subscribe to this channel and like this video and share it with someone who might find this useful. Every Sunday, I publish one strategic playbook for professionals who are done waiting to be noticed and get ready to lead. Hit subscribe. YouTube will make sure you don't miss it. And before you go, one action. Take the promotion readiness assessment. The link is in the description. 3 minutes is all it takes, and it's free. It will show you exactly how visible you are to the people who control your next move, because the salary conversation we talked about today goes very differently when the decision maker already sees you as indispensable before you even open your mouth. See you next week.